From Komando.com, welcome to the Tech Refresh Podcast, where we scour the internet to feature just the right digital news, gadgets, and stories to keep you up to date. Our promise is if you give us about 30 minutes, we'll make sure that you're in the know and the go-to source for your friends and family. After an exhaustive nationwide search to find just the right digitally savvy host, well, they finally gave up and you got me. I'm Mike James, along with our distinguished panel of experts, the Commando Content Queen. She's waving her arm like a queen right now. It's Ali Seligman. Welcome, Ali.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And the news director at Commando.com is Ben Obi-Wan Bradley. Welcome, Ben.
You remembered. Happy New Year.
I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. All right. So we have a ton of stuff, as we always do. It's a brand new year. It's a brand new show, the first of 2021. And just for that reason, we're stepping up our game. This show is going to be 20% better than usual, at least, okay? All right.
21% better.
21% at the very minimum. All right. So we've got a scam of the week coming up. FBI has a new warning out. Also, a quick tip for you is on Alexa. Maybe you got a new Alexa for Christmas. Maybe you're thinking about getting a new Alexa because you didn't get one for Christmas and you're a little bit ticked off about it. But anyway, we're going to go over some Alexa tips in just a bit. And tech predictions for 2021 later on. I got a big one. I got a grand slam tech prediction for 2021. And we got to get to this week's news, which first at the top is, of course, scams. And we're talking about PayPal scams.
This is a big one. So PayPal, of course, think about your account. All of your financial info is there. This is one where you really don't want the wrong hands getting into your account. This is a pretty tricky phishing campaign through text message. It is targeting victims to steal their account credentials and lots of other personal information. Now, here's the context for it. When PayPal detects some kind of suspicious activity on your account, your status is set to limited, so you're not able to withdraw, send, or receive money in the same way. People know that, cyber criminals know it, and so they are sending out warnings that your account is going to be permanently limited unless you verify it. These are really tricky because they look so real. If you click on the link, you'll end up on a spoofed page that tries to get, your login credentials. So great, you fall for it, you log in. Then they ask for more. They want your birthday, your address, your bank details, lots of other important information. Like I said, this one looks really believable. We have the pictures up on Komando.com. If you look at it, it really looks like the PayPal site. So be super careful if you get an email or a text message from PayPal.
And it's like a lot of those, you're talking about how real it looks, and it doesn't matter if it looks like it's coming from PayPal or Amazon or Apple. They all look very real now. They've gotten very good at the graphics, the logo manipulation. They even know how to spell now.
Right? It's like they finally found spell check. It's crazy. So kind of bigger picture, in 2020, across the globe, cybersecurity, different cybersecurity hacks, all the losses totaled up to $1 trillion. I'm not going to play that game where we figure out what you could buy with $1 trillion, because think about everything you could ever want and you could buy it 10 times. But expect the same this year. Expect even worse. All of those COVID scams, which Ben, I know you're going to get to later, those will continue. So it's probably going to be a rough year cybersecurity wise.
Yeah, just Kim's words of advice, just don't click on that. All right, COVID-related conspiracy theories, more scams are coming. Ben, go ahead.
Let's go from don't fall for scams to let's not fall for hoaxes either. And, typically we're not into sharing all the crazy conspiracy theories that, go in and out of style because, frankly, we don't want to be part of spreading that nonsense. But there occasionally comes a time when you have a conspiracy theory that's so asinine, so ridiculous, hilarious even, that you just have to say something. And one of the latest crackpot conspiracy theories kind of ties in with that whole 5G COVID-19 connection that some folks just really can't seem to let go. So there's an image making the rounds right now, and it's called COVID-19 5G chip diagram. And like it sounds, it's supposedly this schematic for the tiny 5G tracking chip they secretly inject into your body when you get the COVID vaccine. Well, look closely at the schematic and you see something labeled 5G frequency. So, aha, right? It gotcha. We know it now. But, well, you also see these other labels that say like bass and treble and volume and foot switch. So running a quick Google search, and it's easy to figure out that the diagram is real, but it's not for an implantable, mind-controlling, people-tracking, whatever 5G chip. It's actually for a Boss MT2 Metal Zone electric guitar pedal. Yes, so there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I imagine, a tiny 5G chip is one thing, but, I imagine it'd be a lot more uncomfortable to have a guitar foot pedal implanted in one's body.
Maybe you could use it for like some subliminal messaging.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, you can control your volume of your voice, up and
internal jam sessions.
Exactly. All right. Cable prices are going up. We all know that. But the internet data caps, what's that all about?
If you check your next cable bill, you'll probably see an increase. This has become a not so fun annual tradition. Cable companies hiking up their prices. Comcast just went up between $10 and $15 a month if you have a premium package. Even their basic TV went from $30 to $35. AT&T increases across the board. You can expect probably about $7 a month if you have Xfinity and $9 more a month if you have DirecTV. They say it's for, rising programming fees, speed improvements, lots of good stuff. But at the end of the day, still more money you're paying out. And remember last year, all the internet service providers, maybe not all, most, got rid of those data caps because we were all video conferencing and streaming. And so that goodwill has reached its limit, no more. So you are probably going to start getting notifications that you are close to your data cap. So be careful, watch your bill. My recommendation, either gather up your paper bills or log in online and see how much data you used each month. That will give you a good idea if you are going to be going over that cap. If so, you might want to upgrade your plan. That could be cheaper than paying the fees that come with going over, or at least you can knock down the quality of some of your video streaming. You don't need to stream everything in 4K. It costs a lot of money. It eats up a lot of data.
Yeah, but think about the gaming too. I mean, if you game or your kids game, it takes nothing to blow through a data cap. Just gaming or downloading a game. It's...
Yeah, downloads especially. Game files are huge now, and it's not discs anymore. People just download the games. Remember when you're that day all your video conferences were glitchy because your kid was downloading Flight Simulator?
Yeah, more than 100 gigs. I'm sitting there the whole work day. Video calls are pixelated. I can't get pages to load. I think the internet's down. No, kid's just hogging it, trying to get this game downloaded that he should have downloaded the night before, but whatever.
I have, I've never told you guys this, but I have a tenant that, now one of our sponsors is T-Mobile for the radio show. So I'll definitely put a plug in for T-Mobile here, but she has T-Mobile on her phone and that's all she uses for all her entertainment. Now she has cancer, so she stays home a lot and watches a lot of movies, but her bill, her T-Mobile bill, she said was about $70 a month. And she gets all her entertainment, all her texting, all her phone calls through that one source. So pretty amazing, I thought. Of course, she has to pay for the movies extra, but that's a different ballgame. Coming up, we've got a tech tip you need to know about Alexa and some tips about Alexa. Also, we're going to take a deep dive into 2021 tech predictions. Scam of the week. The FBI just came out with a warning about what you need to watch out for. And up next, it's brand new or not true on the Tech Refresh podcast from Komando.com. All right, we're back on the Tech Refresh podcast from Komando.com, and later on, we're going to tell you about a nightwear app. Oh, Ben has that. The inquiring minds need to know. All right, before we get to brand new or not true, we do have a quick tip that we want to share with you about Amazon Alexa. Now, Amazon Alexa has been around since 2014. It is no doubt a grand slam product for Amazon. They sold over 100 million units as of early last year, so they're well above that now. But if you just got a new Alexa or if you're thinking about getting one, you need to know kind of some tips about how it all works.
So like Mike said at the top of the show, maybe you unwrapped a new Alexa this year, have a couple in your house. This is a tip if you've got multiple Echo devices in your house. You can set up different zones or pairings so that you can have music or whatever you want play throughout your house. I've got this set up. We have, I don't even want to give a number, too many Alexas to count, probably 6. And they're spread all across the house. And so I can say, play music everywhere. And it's awesome. You don't have to, go chasing around, getting it to play where you want it. So you can set up different areas if you want. Maybe you have them play just upstairs, just downstairs. But keep in mind, each device can only be part of one group. So if you want a whole house group, you can't then later subdivide things up. But be careful. Ben, you told me a pretty hilarious story about how this got you into a little trouble.
No funny story. So over the long New Year's weekend, I'm watching, college football bowl games, as you do. And my team, the Oklahoma Sooners, just won. And it's kind of late in the evening. And so I'm like, Alexa, play Boomer Sooner everywhere. Not realizing that some people in the household had already gone to bed. So all these Echo speakers lit up around the house playing this fight song. So, I got a couple angry texts about that, but, it was worth it. Still worth it.
Yeah, so be careful.
That is a great, actually, I can't even get my Alexa in different rooms to answer in the right room. So, Ben, you're going to be a guest here soon, and I'll buy you dinner at my house, and you can fix my Alexa so that it'll work in the right room. It's time now for America's newest national game show sensation, where you can play and guess, is it brand new or not true? Every week, literally thousands of new product sites, apps, and services are announced in the technology world. Some are destined for greatness, others, Oftentimes, the products sound so crazy, outlandish, and just ridiculous. You sit back and think, what were they thinking? And before you know it, tech has created its newest millionaire. So when playing Brand New or Not True, we're going to present you, the home listener, with 3 products, sites, or ideas. And it's up to you to decide which 2 of the 3 are real. And through the process of elimination, which one of the 3 is completely fake. All right, we're going to start with product number 1.
So let me start by saying this week the theme is going to be outdoors. Okay, so I'm a pitch man for outdoor stuff. And I'm going to start... I'm a big fan of camping, but it's a lot of work, particularly when it comes, to setting up the tent. You've got the poles, the stakes, you've got to get it lined up, putting on the rain fly. It's a headache, especially if you get there when it's dark. So for years, you've had these quicker options like pop-up tents, but they still take some work if you're a camping novice. Enter the Kelty Grand Mesa 6 hands-free camping tent. Hands-free because that's what it is. Embedded in this tent vestibule is this machine learning-based processor that controls the connected yet still lightweight aluminum poles. So you remove it from the bag, tap 2 buttons on an app, and the tent begins to construct itself. And it only takes about 5 minutes to build itself with Kelty's Quick Corner technology. So the Kelty Grand Mesa 6 sleeps 6, hence the name. It comes with a charger that plugs into your car, so in case the actual processor runs out of juice. And all together, in the bag, it only weighs about 18 pounds. Problem is, Kelty tents aren't cheap, even the basic, non-techie ones. This one costs $6.99, and it started hitting the big box stores late last fall. And no one got it for me for Christmas.
And why would they?
Seriously. All right, next up, the BioScarf. Let me introduce you to the first scarf with air pollution, allergy, cold, and flu protection built right in. You can protect yourself from pollution and illness with a little style, thanks to this scarf that has an air filter that knocks out 99% of all airborne particulates. It's made possible by the G95 filtration technology that's made to look and feel like regular apparel. The BioScarf is also washable like your other similar accessories, and it comes in 4 colors. Each one costs $69, but you can occasionally pick one up that's on sale.
Was that G95 you said?
G95 filtration technology.
Okay.
Sounds like we're playing a big game of bingo now.
There you go. And the last item on the list. I know it's not the time of year when people think about staying cool. It even gets chilly here in Phoenix where we are, but for those other not-so-cold parts of the year, you have the Rheon Pocket, a personal air conditioner small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. You just drop it in this pouch of the specially made undershirt, and voila. Through thermoelectric cooling, it can cool you down by up to 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, it works best as an air conditioner, but it can also warm you up in a different setting. up to 14 degrees. So it kind of works as a heater too. It's all controlled by your smartphone, costs $125. You want that special undershirt, throw on an extra 17. Now remember, 2 are real and 1 is fake.
So we've got the Kelty hands-free tent for $699. You got the BioScarf, which is $69. And you've got the Rheon Pocket AC for $125. All right, so I am going to guess that first because Allie knows that if she guesses first, I'll just, say whatever she says. So now, I didn't tell you. I was going to warn you, Ben, before we got started. I actually watched on YouTube last night about 30% of a CIA video talking about how to spot a lie. So I am going to go with I did get bored and turn it off. But like I said, I got 1/3 of the way through. So I'm pretty sure that's all I need. So the Kelty hands-free tent, in my opinion, for $699 is pretty useless, but probably true. The Rheon Pocket AC for $125. Who would buy that? Probably somebody would buy that. So I'm going to go with the BioScarf for $69, the cheap one, and I think that is the false product.
Okay, I'm going to say the Pocket AC is real. That seems just ridiculous enough to me, and the price point seems right. The scarf is hard because I feel like this is certainly the kind of product to come out of the COVID world. I could surely see this being real. I don't think it would work very well, especially if you can just throw it in the washer, but I'm going to say the scarf is real and the tent is fake.
Okay.
Yep.
Ben.
Final answers on both?
Final answers on both.
Mike, you are still not a winner.
I'm going to have to watch the rest of that CIA video, I guess.
Is it like, did they give you like how to spot tells over Google Meet?
Yes, I was watching you very carefully. And when I was talking about the BioScarf back, you were kind of like grinding your teeth. It looked like you had your teeth like really hard together. And I thought, that's a tell right there.
So just to be clear, you're thinking more about his presentation than the actual products.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I thought that would work, and they told me it was like a 40-minute video. Anyway.
Well, the BioScarf is real, and you can get it for $69. And like I said, I even saw it on sale for like $39, one of the different colors. The Rheon Pocket, also real.
Yes.
It's made by Sony, and last check, they released it at some point last year, and I think they only sell it in Japan right now. You can probably have it shipped, but that is real, and so is the undershirt. The Kelty, there is a Grand Mesa tent. However, there is none that has machine learning that builds the tent for you. So, yes, that is fake.
Nice job, Allie.
Thank
Great. You win again. That's it for this week's edition of Brand New or Not True. Thanks to our distinguished guests, Ben and Allie. And up next, we're going to take a look at tech predictions for 2021. Also, later on, our Scam of the Week. The FBI has put out a warning about some scams you need to watch out for. And the Nightwear app. What's that all about? Coming up on Tech Refresh from Komando.com. Welcome back to Tech Refresh from Komando.com. Every week we give you the inside scoop on what's going on in tech so you're in the know and the source for tech information for your friends and family. Every week about this time we take an in-depth look into issues that affect the technology lifestyle, and this week we want to take a look at tech products and predictions for 2021. Allie.
Yeah, so there's lots that we can talk about this year. Certainly data collection is going to be a hot topic. I don't think that we're going to see a whole ton of traction on that this year. I think we're going to be talking about it for a long time. I think we're going to be hearing about, Zuckerberg and all our friends from Google and whoever else going to court. But I want to talk about stuff that I think we're going to see this year. One is the streaming industry. So the past year and a half, probably 2 years, every company, it seems like, has a streaming option. There are, we've talked about this before, there are actually hundreds of streaming options at this point. And I think the bottom of the barrel ones are going to start falling off. And I'm not sure that we're all going to see Netflix as the big, the undisputed king of streaming anymore. I think it's going to be a little more diversified. Which ones do you guys use? I have
most of them. I mean, I have Netflix and Hulu and Prime and CBS All Access and HBO Max and Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus. And I think we did try out Peacock, but I don't know if we're going to keep that one. Okay,
so if my finger counting is correct, that's 8. And even if they're $10 a month, that's $80 a month you're spending. That's a lot.
Caveat, I mean, some of that stuff you get free, like Disney Plus. I did, when they first came out at the end of 2019, they had that deal where if you pay for 3 years of it, you get, really deep discounts. So I did that. And when I got a new iPhone around that same time, a little over a year ago, they gave me more than a free year of Apple TV Plus. So some of that stuff I'm not paying for.
Well, fair enough. The point remains that it's expensive to keep up with all these. And so I imagine more and more of us are going to realize, you know what? I don't need or want to spend $100 a month on streaming. So I'm going to start to pare back. So I'm very interested to see what happens. And I'm sure some will fail this year. They'll probably just quietly go away. They're not all going to be Quibi where they put so much money into it and then have to kind of hang their hats and say, well, it didn't quite work out the way we expected.
Well, I would think Peacock, that's the NBC one because there just wasn't a ton of stuff. But then you find out, within the past few days that they really did take The Office off of Netflix and now it's exclusively on Peacock. So that could be
their savior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big show could definitely do it. Especially, that's a huge show and one people like to rewatch.
Disney isn't going anywhere either. They have The Mandalorian. I know that's super popular. For me, I have a Roku box. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't pay for YouTube. I just watch the free version. And then I also, for movies, I just go Amazon Prime. And it's just because I love Amazon Prime. The other, like ordering stuff off of Amazon Prime, it just kind of comes with it. Or I don't know. It just kind of comes with it. So it's easy.
I think people forget about Amazon Prime and that how many movies are there, or Amazon Prime TV, if you pay for Amazon Prime for the shipping, don't forget you get access to a lot of movies and a lot of TV.
Yeah. Yep.
And they've got some good original shows too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Prime, so
they do.
My prediction, and a lot of it's going to, we may see some of it as early as the next few days. The big annual event, the CES show, that's, redundant, but the big annual event is happening starting this coming Monday in Las Vegas, but for the first time, it's going to be virtual. You'll see the usual stuff, the 8K TVs and all that. You're going to have more refrigerators you talk to. But, because of everything that happened this past year, one of the things that you can really look for now are gadgets that really focus on health. Maybe a little better air purification systems or different kinds of thermometers that really go beyond what's out there. Home gym equipment that's not the crazy prices that some of the company, Peloton and Nordic Track and some of those. A big focus on that because COVID is not going anywhere anytime real soon, and so you're still going to have a lot of people at home a lot, still looking for ways to do these things like working out at home, but for cheaper.
Yeah, working from home, of course, that's something that is not going to be going away, at least in the beginning of this year. And, for a lot of companies, probably ever. We wrote today about a new monitor from Dell that, how does it work, Ben? You just push a button and you can connect right to your video meetings?
Yeah, they've got these 3 new monitors. One's a 34-inch, but yeah, it's got a built-in button at the bottom of the bezel for Microsoft Teams. And yeah, I push that, it launches it, and it's apparently it's got a few other features. Yeah, so working from home is at least in the next, I would guess, this year and potentially beyond that, it's going to be a mainstay. So
Yeah.
that's why you've got these companies really producing that, catering to that new method.
Yeah. I've seen studies of like between 30 and 50% of the workforce will be working from home at least, a good portion of the time. That's what they're kind of getting from asking around. All right. So my attack prediction for 2021, this long shot, this one that nobody saw coming. Are you ready?
We're ready.
The Tech Refresh podcast will go to the top of the line. We'll have billions of listeners, and we'll knock out like all the NPR programs and iHeart programs, and we'll all get big fat raises. And I know it seems like a long shot, but I was going
to say, along those lines, if you are listening to this and you do like it, please tell people.
That would at least
get online. Leave us a nice review.
Get us started in the right direction. All right, so it's time for our scam of the week, and this week we're talking about the FBI has a big warning. What's that about?
They've got a couple actually. It's New Year, a lot of the same problems though. COVID-19 is still here. The vaccine rollout's been kind of slow. Well, scammers know the trends to really jump on, and you've had a spike in a couple of these types of scams that have been going on for months, but they're starting to pick up steam now, and it's prompted warnings from government agencies like the FBI. So here, the vaccine is here, or at least variations of it. It's arrived in the States. It's being distributed. So now you've got these scammers really up in their game. So you might see ads or offers for early access to a vaccine for a small fee, or offers to pay to be added to a vaccine waiting list. You've got these unsolicited emails, calls, other messages asking for vaccine trial of participants, or threats that the vaccine is government mandated to scare you into turning over some information to get your name off the list. Do your research. You're not going to get real calls like that. They're not legitimate. So hang up. Stay away from links and attachments and sketchy emails, other messages. At Komando.com, you'll find other tips to avoid falling victim for those. Another common scam the FBI is sounding the alarm about, the get-rich-quick jobs, work from home or just work part-time. So for months, crooks have been targeting people looking for work, because the economy has taken a big hit this past year, or students looking for extra money. They're looking for money mules. And basically, the money mules, they're the go-betweens, who launder money from online scams or more serious crimes like human trafficking. And, these mules make it harder for law enforcement to follow the trail. And it doesn't matter if you're aware you're taking part in the crime or not, you could still face the same prosecution. So watch out for messages, again, that promise, fast cash, potential employers who only want to communicate with you via email or instant messenger. And, don't pay any processing fees up front either.
So even if you, if you say, well, I didn't know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. So even if you're working for a criminal enterprise, or if you don't know, you're still going to,
Still going to be bad times. And let your older folks in your family know about this stuff is going on. Again, we talk about it every week. We have to keep it top of mind so people don't get scammed around you. All right, coming up next, we're going to tell you about a guy who created an app to help his dad's PTSD. Next on Tech Refresh from Komando.com. It's Tech Refresh from Komando.com, and every week we end with kind of a feel-good story, and this one is about a guy that created a nightwear app for his dad.
So I think it's safe to say we've all experienced nightmares, but you have to imagine it's infinitely worse and probably much more frequent for people who suffer from conditions like PTSD. And that brings me to Tyler Skluzacek. He was determined to help his dad, Patrick, overcome night terrors from the time he spent as an Army convoy commander in Fallujah. Well, in 2015, while he was still in college, Tyler signed up for this developers event focused on helping others with specific problems. And he ended up creating a prototype app for smartwatches. And so basically this app, it detects early warning signs of sleeping trouble, like, frequent movement or a big tick up in the heart rate. And then it vibrates to gently wake the person before the dream these night terrors take hold. Well, it took years of work and getting his dad to volunteer as kind of a guinea pig to, perfect this algorithm. But now it's been approved by the FDA as a prescription-only app, and it's called Nightware. That's WARE, and it's expected to be released soon to veterans and others who suffer from similar conditions. And as far as Tyler's dad, he says the app has let him get his life back and calling those wrist vibrations little miracles.
Yeah, it's great when we hear stories about technology really changing people's lives, and this is certainly one. And probably moving forward, it'll probably be used for much more than PTSD, probably some other ailments that can be helped with this kind of technology. Is it Apple Watch or is it a watch, like an Android watch, or do you know?
As far as it should work on the major brands, both Apple and any of the Android versions of a smartwatch.
That's awesome. All right, thanks for listening to the Tech Refresh podcast, heard exclusively on the Tech You Should Know podcast from Commander.com. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button so you get this podcast delivered automatically every Friday with Tech You Should Know. And also, you get the special feature podcast, including this week's, about the dark web. This week, Kim talks to Jim Hammond about the dark web. Search Komando, that's Komando, on your podcast player. And if you'd like to comment about the podcast, good or bad, mostly good, send us an email to podcast@Commander.com. Again, that's podcast@Commander.com. On behalf of Ben, Allie, I'm Mike. We'll see you next time. And for the latest digital news and articles anytime, go to Komando.com with a K. Komando.